Welcome back to part 6 of Cooking in Rising World. As you can see, the barbecued bacon and the bacon done on the grill are showing up as finished. Unfortunately, on the smoker with the lid open, we are not having the same luck. So it looks like leaving the lid open will screw with your cooking times. That means with the smoker you either have to pay attention, stand around and check on it periodically, or run a timer so that you can make sure you don't overdo your food. Because as you can see, bacon here is done in 3 minutes, bacon here was done in 3 minutes, and the bacon here is still looking quite raw. In just a short bit we will have the beefsteak finished, and we'll have a second confirmation of that time frame variance with the lid open here. I'm going to leave the lid open until the beefsteaks are done, and we'll go from there. And while we're waiting for that, I'm going to cover a couple of quick little clarifications here. Oh, there goes one of the beefsteaks, and there goes the second of the beefsteaks, and that one's not cooked. So, on the subject of clarifications, in the past you may have seen me using flying mode. This is accomplished with F2. It's more accurately described as no-clip mode because you can fly through things, no problems whatsoever. I don't recommend using this more than you absolutely have to because it definitely takes away from the experience, as well as presenting a unique danger. The falling distances are very hard to gauge when you're up in fly mode and you're flying over an uneven grassy surface. Sometimes the grass looks a lot shallower than it is, and then you come out of flying mode and hurt yourself, and that can lead to broken bones, as we have down here. So wherever possible, try to avoid using flying mode. It'll make your life easier, and it'll make the game a little bit more as intended. I don't know if the designers intend to leave it around, but if they don't, then there's no sense in getting used to it. Another point to mention, if you use the sickle to harvest watermelon, I was incorrect when I said it didn't matter. Using the F key will get you 1 watermelon, using the sickle will actually get you 2. So that's worth noting if you're looking to stock up on food. Also, when you're running, again, you hold shift, hold the left shift specifically while you're moving forward. If you then let go of the forward arrow and continue holding the shift key, it will actually allow you to continue running, so you don't have to hold both. So there's walking, running, and I let go of the walking key and I can run, no big deal. So there's another handy little feature. Makes it a little easier to live without the flight mode if they do take that away, which I kind of hope they do. Having it that accessible is a little game breaking. There's another keystroke that may be of interest to some of you mine divers, spelunkers. When you're in the deep dark parts like this, if you don't want to have a torch out in one of your active slots and you don't happen to have any to put them up on the wall or whatever, the L key turns on your headlamp. I don't know if that is an intended feature for the long term or if that's something they're using during the debugging and glitch hunting phase of things, but for the interim it actually gives you the same light as your pen light effectively would, but out to a greater range. So I'm guessing it's probably going to go away, just like some of the other features that are nice while we have them. Now there's a couple of things we can cover here while I'm waiting on the ribs to finish up. From the workbench, you can create all of the other crafting stations: block bench, saw bench, anvil, smelting furnace, loom, and workbench tier 2. The anvil is where you would go with your ingots. Let's say you wanted to stock up even further on your iron plates. You go in here, and you can make plates of whatever metal. There you go. 1 ingot will give you 1 of that item. And 1 plate will turn into 4 rods. So you can make quite a lot of rods out of a single patch of iron that you've harvested. These rods are useful for different things, not the least of which being your cooking surfaces. The iron ingots themselves can be used to craft tool components. Pickaxe head in case for some reason you lost yours. For example, if you're walking along and you're at the edge of a chasm, you're looking in, you think your hand is on the right keys, you press the forward button to get a closer look, and oh damn, there goes my pickaxe down that chasm I can't possibly get down. Well, I guess that'll learn me I should put my finger on the W key to move forward, not the Q key. Alright, let's pick that up. If you do happen to do something boneheaded like that, you can come back, craft yourself another pickaxe or axe or what have you, and you're not totally screwed. To craft these components, you go to the components category. You'll find pickaxe, axe, sickle, scythe, rake, sledgehammer, hoe, sword, battle axe, and morningstar. They are mostly 1 or 2 ingots. I don't think any of them require more than that. In fact, it looks like all of them are 1 or 2. Pickaxe and axe you're familiar with. Digging, chopping. The sickle is essential for harvesting saplings from vegetables and plants like the strawberries and so on that you've seen. If you have a sickle, I don't. If you have a sickle, now I do. You take that over to your various plants, and instead of just picking 2 potatoes like I did through the wall, you go left click and hold it. You'll get 2 potatoes and 2 saplings. Or you'll get 1 carrot and 3 saplings. Or you'll get 3 saplings and a lettuce. 2 saplings from your strawberry. 3 from your tomato. And there was some broccoli around here somewhere. I do believe it does 3 as well. You don't need to use the sickle on trees. You just use the F key to pick your fruit, and then your trusty lumber axe to knock the tree down, and hope for the best with the saplings. So the sickle comes in handy for that. It's also useful for cutting down grass, but the scythe is significantly better at it. The sickle takes multiple whacks to clear a small area down to bare ground, whereas the scythe does not. I can clear a bigger area in a lot less time, as demonstrated here. Then you've got some nice long grass. Left click, and left click again, and you've created what would be probably 3 blocks by 3 blocks, or maybe more, maybe 4 by 4, completely cleared in 2 whacks. With the sickle, not nearly as fast. And once you're working from an area like that, you can make yourself some nice paths very quickly. That's what I've done to avoid getting lost before I started clear cutting this area. I cut myself some paths here and there, and that made it a lot easier to see what I was doing, and also easier to find my way home. If you're going to be harvesting stuff in an area, and you're going to be going back there to do it regularly, like knocking down trees, I highly recommend knocking the grass down first, because finding your logs and saplings is enormously easier. We might as well talk about some of these other wonderful tools that we can create. I'll grab a hoe, a rake, and a sledgehammer. The hoe you can use to till the soil so that it's completely free of grass and all the other decorative appearances. That way you'll be able to see what you're doing when you're planting things a whole lot easier. So you take your hoe out here. Let's say you did this with the rake. Okay. With the rake, if you left click, see how it's not doing anything? There we go. It will lower the height of dirt. If you right click with it, it will attempt to raise the height of dirt within reason. You're not going to be able to create a tiny little spire, but every time you do that successfully, raising and lowering, it will knock the tall grass off of it. So you're creating a dirt path instead of just a mown path like before. And once you have bare dirt, you can use the hoe to till it up like so. That was a right click. With a left click, it will modify the height as well. It'll try and smooth it out a bit. And you can use the hoe to get rid of the long grass, so it's not necessary to go through all the steps in order. Just realistically, if you use the hoe to just till the grass under, the ground should be more fertile. If you wanted to get rid of that after you've done this and gone, oh, well, that's on the outside of my wall. That's kind of a bad place for it. With the rake, you can right-click or left-click, and it will get rid of the tilled earth. It'll return it just to dirt path. Okay. Now there's the sledgehammer we can talk about. The sledgehammer does the same thing as the rake, but it does it for stone. So you come over here and left-click, and it pounds down. Tries to make it even, tries to make it a little flatter. As you can see, I've experimented here, and now I have the bottom edge of my wall exposed. So I'm going to quickly go back and check on those ribs, and then we're going to pause and come back for video number 7. See how those ribs are looking. I have completely incinerated them to chars. Perfect. That will demonstrate what happens when you overcook food right after this.